Hey Internet, my name is Abby and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program on Wings. We are back on the launch pad and it's been a while since we did the last launch, and finally we are able to do the next launch because we now have a launch opportunity up to Eve, and in this case here we are launching now our Eve probe in 3, 2, 1 and liftoff. Okay, well done, well done. We are finally launching a huge booster up into space, and we are using this reliable booster, and I'm so glad that I'm finally able to do a launch once again. And yeah, so what is the main goal? As I talked about this, on my return flight from the Gilly and Eve expedition, I accepted a contract, science data from space around Eve, but unfortunately I forgot to perform some science experiments in Eve orbit, and so in this case here I returned back to Kerbal and I had no science from Eve on board, and in this case here I need now to launch another space probe up to Eve in order to perform a short experiment, transmit it back home to finish off the contract. And well, this is now what we are doing, and for this reason I kept the driving section we used back in the days for the Eve expedition in orbit, and yeah, now we are using it once again to fly once again up to Eve, but this time we will just go for a direct approach and we will enter the atmosphere of Eve to disintegrate both spacecraft so that we are getting rid of them. But at first they have to transmit back some experimental data so that we can finish off the contract, and this is now the main goal of this mission. And we are now launching up into space, and we have done the first part of the gravity turn, and at 30 kilometers we will do the next part of the gravity turn. And as I said, we are aiming for the Gilly expedition. Well, the Gilly expedition is the driving section I was talking about, and it's currently at an orbit at 140 kilometers. So yeah, we are now launching for this orbit, and once we are gaining altitude we will be able to see if we are ahead or behind this driving section, so that we need to insert ourselves into a higher or a lower orbit in order to catch up, or to wait a little bit for the driving section to catch up with us, and then we are able to hopefully rendezvous with it and to perform our burn up to Eve, to here, finally unlock and finish off this contract. Okay, and now we are reaching the 30-kilometer mark. Now I can turn my spacecraft around to 25 to 20 degrees on the nav ball, and we are gaining more velocity. And yeah, so we are now aiming for space. We are going to space today. This is cool. This is definitely cool. And yeah, now in a few moments we will be able to see if we are ahead or behind our spacecraft, and we are well ahead of it. So we need to insert ourselves into a much higher orbit, and yeah, let's go for 165 kilometers. This is good. And at first, now as we are in the coast phase, we can... Wow, look at the new Separatrons. They are much more powerful and the graphics have improved. This is amazing, and we can see this once again for the fairing separation. So let me do this. Okay, fairing separation. And there's a moon! There's a moon! This is cool. And yeah, so this small thing on top of the spacecraft is my Eve probe. It has a probe core, it has one thermometer, and the thermometer will be good enough to perform one experiment, and then we can use our antenna on the opposite side of the spacecraft to transmit back the data, and as soon as we've done this, we will hopefully be able to complete the science data from space around Eve contract. And yeah, as soon as we did this, the spacecraft will enter the atmosphere of Eve and get disintegrated, and so we get rid of them. And now let us do a quick time warp to get closer to the apoapsis in order to insert ourselves into our orbit around Kerbal. And okay, now let's turn toward the horizon. Let's get rid of the of the maneuver node. Okay, prograde vector. Do we have an indication for our target? Not yet. We are too far away for our target. Okay. So. Now. Oh, I should enable my engine first. Okay, now. Let's speed up. And wow, this is cool. This is cool. And it's so amazing to do a rocket launch after such a long time. Because, well, I did some launches from the surface of a celestial body I explored, but this is not the same as performing a launch from the surface or from the launch pad at Kerbal Space Center. And yeah, so this is amazing. This is just amazing. Okay, now we are in an orbit, in a little bit in a higher orbit than the driving section. And now at first, let me see, we are off by 1.1 degree. So let me change a little bit the inclination. 0.6, 0.5, 0.3, 0.2, 0.1. Okay, and then let me just see what happens if I reduce the velocity. Will I be able to have at some point? Not yet. I'm not able to have a rendezvous. Okay, so at first, this means at first that we will. Let me just do something like this. Okay, the apoapsis is also higher, and this is good. Okay, at first we will reduce our inclination, then we will continue orbiting around Kerbal, and at some point we will perform the next maneuver in order to have the rendezvous with our driving section. Okay, now let me aim for the maneuver. It's just a very short burn, and the whole thing is a little bit unwieldy because I have now no reaction wheel at all. I have just a small reaction wheel of the probe cores attached to the spacecraft, and well, this is not very powerful to move around this huge fuel tank, but okay, we are still doing a good job. And now we are aiming for the maneuver node only 3 minutes ago, and soon we are in the nighttime and in the darkness and in the shadow of Kerbal. Okay. Now, time to perform the burn. Here we go, here we go. And just a little bit. Okay, very good. So we have reduced or decreased our inclination. Let me see if we are doing over here a burn. Can we? 9.1, 11. Okay, this is we're doing over here. 3.5. This would be good. And this would be in the daylight side. This would be amazing. Can I get this even better? 7.1. No, it's not better. 2 kilometers. This is good. 1 kilometer. Okay, 1 kilometer. This is amazing. This is amazing. Let me now turn for the next maneuver node with my shiny new spacecraft. And come on, turn it back. Very good, very good. Amazing, amazing. Okay. Now, let's do this. 7 minutes, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's get a little bit closer. And, okay, let's perform the burn. A gentle retrograde burn. And stop it. Well done, well done. Okay, we do have a separation of 1 kilometer. This is amazing. Let me just set up a maneuver node over here. And okay, once again, time warp to get closer. Do we have... Oh, the sun has just risen. Yeah, over there. There's an indication for our target. This is good. This is really good. And we are coming now across Kerbal Space Center. Down there, we have launched just a few minutes ago. Let me now get closer. Okay. 3.7 kilometers. Let me close this maneuver node and let me just perform a short burn in order to reduce on the one side the relative motion and our approach velocity, and on the other hand to just, this unwieldy spacecraft, change a little bit our trajectory so that we are getting much closer to the driving section. Okay, now let me perform this burn and stop. Okay, very good. So what have we done? We are now down to a separation of 100 meters. This is good. This is really good. Okay, 100 meters. Let us do a quick time warp to get closer. Okay, let's start to slow down. Okay, very good, very good. I think I should now, because I'm a little bit off, kill all the relative motion and stop the burn right now. Because I like to aim, I like to dock to the bottom side of the spacecraft, of the driving section. So I like to get a little bit closer and I like to align my spacecraft a little bit better with it. So let me just aim a little bit more to this side. Yeah, I think this could be quite promising. Okay, like this. Let's do a short burn. Oh, we need to turn around right away because the rate of turning the spacecraft around is pretty slow. And I don't want to fly past it. Okay, can I already set this as my target? Come on. Set as target. Okay, well done, well done. Okay, getting closer. We are almost there. We are almost there. Very good, very good. Okay. Now let me use this engine once again for probably the last time. Then we need to use our RCF. Okay, let's come to a stop. Let's switch over to docking mode. And the first thing we need to do is to turn around. And just a little bit more. Very good, very good. Okay, let's come to a stop and RCS, and let's start floating toward this. Very good, very good. Okay, this is a good approach. We are getting closer to the Gilly expedition. I'm not quite sure why it's still called Gilly expedition after I undocked all the other spacecrafts from it. And okay, let's kill once again all of our relative motion. Let's turn the spacecraft toward the docking port. Okay, very good, very good. And let's perform the final approach. Just a few meters. Just a few meters. Okay, let me now start slowing my spacecraft down. Because I do not want to destroy my space probe. Okay. Just a few centimeters. Let me switch off all the... And a perfect docking. A perfect docking. Just amazing. Just amazing. Now let me see. These fuel tanks are a little bit low, but I do have some fuel from my upper stage. So let me just transfer this fuel over. And in order to deorbit the thing, let me just bring over this outer fuel tank into this fuel tank. And this thing can go over here. Okay, now the spacecraft should be balanced. This is amazing. Now I can say... decouple. Okay, now we have perfectly delivered some fuel. We have delivered our space probe. Let me just see. Display on. Okay, the display is working. Very nice, very nice. Now let me just at first switch over to this vessel because I like to deorbit it now. We need now to deorbit our upper stage. Okay, like this, and full throttle. And it's gone. Okay, very good, very good. Let me now switch over to this spacecraft. Okay, this spacecraft is now ready to go. And yeah, in this case, let me just maybe set up a maneuver node over here. Now comes the most interesting thing. We want to fly to Eve. So let me set this as a target. And where's my maneuver node now? Over here. And let me just set up a maneuver. And okay. I think I'm using even a little bit too much power. I can reduce this over here. Now let me just turn the whole thing around. I think I did something wrong. I think I pressed at one point the wrong button. So let me just try this once again. I think I just changed by accident the inclination or something. This is never good. This is never good. So let me try this again. Okay. It's a little bit too much of a burn. I think for around 1070 meters per second could be good enough. And okay, there we are pretty close. So what do I need to do? I think I just need to speed up a little bit. Let me just see. Okay, I think I need to play a little bit around with the maneuver nodes, and as soon as I got a good maneuver node, I will bring you back in and we will perform the burn. And here we go, here we go. I've set up a maneuver node and we will have an event counter in 29 days and 11 hours. This is amazing, this is really cool. In this case, let me now aim for the maneuver node at first. Wow, this thing is now turning pretty easy because there are some good reaction wheels attached to the spacecraft, and we do have enough fuel to fly over there because our payload is pretty light. And okay, 17 minutes to go. 17 minutes. Oh, 1000 meters per second burn. I think this could be around a 4-minute burn, so maybe I should start the burn around 3 minutes before the maneuver node. I think this could be a good position. Let me just see. 5, 4... Okay, now we're getting closer. Okay, 3 minutes. Let's perform the burn, and it's yeah, I'm almost right. A 3-minute and 40-second burn, so we can get even a little bit closer to the maneuver node. Okay, like now. And now, full throttle. Here we go, here we go. So we are flying once again to Eve. And, well, as usual, a 3.5-minute burn. I will do some time-lapse and I will bring you back in once we finish the burn. Okay, we are about to finish our burn. Only 30 seconds to go. Let us see the whole thing from the orbital map. And as you can see right now, we've just left the sphere of influence of Kerbal, and we are now reducing our sun periapsis down so that we have a possible encounter with Eve. And this is pretty cool. This is really cool. I hope everything will work out well as planned. Okay, earned just a few meters per second, and well, there is the encounter. Let me just continue a little bit the burn to get closer to our desired outcome. And cut the engine right now. Okay. And close it. Well done, well done. So we will have our EVE encounter in 29 days and 12 hours. This is cool. This is really cool. And we will have to do a short inclination change or a trajectory change while we are flying out to EVE. And yeah, then we will be hopefully able to finish off this one contract. And well, this is just amazing. And now we are leaving EVE with our... No, we are leaving Kerbal with our small spacecraft, with our small probe. And wow, this is cool, this is cool, this is amazing. And yeah, in this case, let me now just do a quick time warp and bring you back in once we are performing the trajectory change. Okay, about 15 days have passed since we left Kerbal, and now we are in deep space, and I've set up a small maneuver node, and this maneuver node will... Let me just see, let me extend once again our maneuver ball, our nav ball, focus view on EVE. This maneuver will reduce our EVE periapsis from 43,000 kilometers down to 11 kilometers, and with this we are so deep inside the atmosphere of EVE that we will never leave it once again, once we have entered it. And yeah, this is exactly what I wanted to do. And now let me perform this maneuver so that we are on a good trajectory to EVE. Okay, we are 13 minutes out, and this is good enough because, as I said, we are in deep space, so I can now perform the burn. Very good, very good. Okay, we are performing the burn. And yeah, this is basically the end of the whole spacecraft, because after this burn I think no more burns are needed, hopefully. And yeah, then the thing will end in the thick atmosphere of EVE. And yeah, now we finished this, and what have we done? Oh, we are even on a collision course. I think this is maybe a little bit too aggressive. Let me just bring this a little bit up. Just a tiny little bit. Okay, 6 kilometers. 6 kilometers is much better. And yeah, so we are now on a good trajectory. And with this, we will see us again once the spacecraft is arriving at the sphere of influence of EVE. Okay, here we are. Here we are. This purple sphere over here is EVE, and yes, we are now shortly before arriving in the sphere of influence of EVE. And let me just demonstrate you this. We are only 57 minutes out of our EVE encounter, and wow, this is cool. This is really cool. So let us get a little bit closer to our EVE encounter. Let me speed up, and let's slow down. 3.5 minutes, 2.5 minutes, 1.5 minutes, a few seconds. Let's get closer and come to a stop. Okay, 9 seconds, 9 seconds. Over there's EVE, there's the sun, and we are definitely approaching our celestial body of choice for completing science data from space around EVE. And yes, now we are in the sphere of influence of EVE, and the EVE periapsis is still at 6 kilometers. So the temperature scan only works in near space of EVE. So we need now to speed up to get closer to this purple planet. And well, enjoy this as we are getting closer and closer. And as the altitude is decreasing and decreasing even more. And it's so beautiful to see this because EVE is basically in front of the sun, so we are seeing the purple atmosphere of this planet, and wow, this is so beautiful. And let me just switch up a little bit the interface, because this is really a great view when you are able to see this purple planet illuminated by the sun. Wow, this is cool. This is definitely cool. Okay, let me slow down a bit. I don't want to miss the moment for space near Eve. I think I can reduce a little bit my altitude even more. Will we even enter the atmosphere in the daylight side? Oh, this would be amazing. Okay, we are falling towards this purple planet. This is a cool approach. Okay. Now the camera is shifting around. And, okay, I think I should be now. Let's get a little bit closer. Let's get down to maybe 200 kilometers, like this. Now I should be in space near Eve. Let me now log temperature. Temperature scan while in space near Eve. Let's transmit the thing. Let's transmit the data. Our antenna extends and no signs added. Okay, the antenna is retracting again, and yeah, over here. Contract complete. We've just received experimental data from space around Eve. Good work. Okay, good work indeed. So yeah, everything worked as intended. This is cool, and now we're getting closer to the end of our interplanetary mission, and we are getting closer to the end of this driving section. It did a marvelous job. It brought our Eve and Gilly expedition out to Eve. It brought them back home to Kerbal, and finally it brought once again the Eve probe out to Eve, and now it's finally the end of the spacecraft, because I don't think that we will need this thing anymore, and even if we need a new interplanetary stage, we can launch it later on. And now, yeah, we are now experiencing the re-entry effects. We are now returning, or we are entering the atmosphere of Eve, and I think this will be the end of the whole mission, and this will be also the end of this episode. So, as we are experiencing this hot re-entry, this is really cool. This is amazing. And I think we will end in the ocean of Eve. This is also interesting. Okay, what is our current altitude? We are down to 36 kilometers as we are burning and as we are engulfed in our flames. Now, this is crazy. This is completely crazy. And now our velocity is decreasing by a significant degree because we are now inside the thickest parts of the atmosphere of Eve. Is this even a different? Let me just see. Log temperature. Oh, we can get even some. No, we can't get signs for the transmission. So let me just reset this experiment. And yes, we are now out of the re-entry effects. We are now falling down toward the end. And yeah, with this spectacular view, I'd like to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed our short flight out to Eve to finish off the last contract. And yeah, I will now leave you alone with the last pictures of our descending spacecraft. And I hope you will be joining me in the next episode when we are possibly leaving Elu with our Elu 1 mission to return back home to Kerbal. And yeah, with this, thank you so much for watching once again. I hope you will be joining me in the next episode. Until then, my name is Evie. See you!